In this video, I'm going to attempt to explain some of the key challenges when it comes to using Clay or getting started with Clay. But however, I liken it to getting started with Salesforce. Like, we don't expect to pay for our Salesforce license and to get a fully usable CRM, which is customized to us the next day. It's why the whole Salesforce consulting ecosystem exists as well. That's not to defend Clay at all. I see a lot of companies struggling to use Clay. And I think the first step, or the first challenge, is that there's a very, very steep learning curve. You make a lot of mistakes as you get started, and that personally can just put you off from using it in the first place. I've got plenty of friends who WhatsApp me with Loom videos asking me to help or get frustrated that they just can't do a simple thing. The steep learning curve isn't just about the user experience, but it's also understanding how the different parts within Clay work, and then also how to get better at AI prompting. You really need to know your way around prompts in order to get the most out of the system. Clay are doing a lot to improve the usability. They launched a recent AI prompt generator, so it's AI helping you with AI, which is a lot more useful. You just explain in very simple human terms what you're trying to achieve, and it will create a prompt which is usually much better than what you can write yourself. Another challenge is the credit systems. It can be really hard to predict exactly how many credits you'll need to use. Also, you might end up wasting credits as well. So one of my recommendations is that when you are testing enrichments and you're building out your columns with all the different enrichments, that you only try on the first 10 rows. Don't do all 1,000 or 10,000 records that you have in the table. Just make sure you get it right in the first 10, and then you can run the rest of the column as well. Another challenge, which is like any real platform, is the constant maintenance and updates. So things will break that you built maybe a month ago as they update the integrations, and also relying on different data providers can also come with some challenges too, because you're at the mercy of the other companies who you're using via the integrations to maintain the quality, for example. And while Clay does promise kind of seamless integrations, it's not a click and connect. There's a lot more that goes into making any integration work. But again, like Salesforce with your website, or like Hubspot with the forms, it looks simple on the marketing site, but it just takes a little bit more getting used to as well. So I'd say those are the key challenges. For those who have larger sales organizations, I definitely wouldn't recommend that you kind of give all of your ICs or your individual contributors, like your SDRs, your AEs, access to Clay and just say, go enjoy. You definitely want to have somebody who is there to maintain it. That might be somebody in RevOps, or it might be somebody that you hire for the role of a GTM engineer, which is a term that's been coined recently. Their job effectively is to understand the requirements of the business and build out the right tables, the workflows, etc. that you need. You might consider working with an agency, which have been branded as Clay agencies. These are usually experts at Clay, and they will need to work with you to understand what it is you want Clay to do, which I think would be my last challenge to share in this video about Clay, is you need to know what you want out of it. It's like there's lots of tools that promise the world, whether that be AI SDRs or note takers, for example. There's lots of tools in your tech stack, but you really need to understand, what is it that I want? Why am I using it? And what is the desired output? And then once you have the answers to those three, you can then start to implement Clay and get the most out of it. I always recommend to start with the use cases of the tasks that your sales reps or your marketing team or whoever it may be is doing manually at the moment, and then start to replace each one of those use cases with Clay. That's probably the best way to learn Clay, and then the best way to see how much of an impact it can have on your business. And if you get stuck at all, or you have any more questions about Clay, just feel free to reach out to me via the website or mark@yellowo.co.uk. All right, good luck.